Well, hello there. My name is Daniel. I'm a full-time evangelist, and this is my new book, Prophetic Evangelism, Kingdom Exploits in the Risk Zone. And this is a short taster of my course based on the book and enlarging on the topic of the book. Part 3, which is Jesus and Prophetic Evangelism. And we obviously looking at prophetic evangelism through the prism of Jesus and his ministry, particularly focusing in on John chapter 3 and John chapter 4, where Jesus speaks to Nicodemus in the evening, and he speaks to the Samaritan woman at the well in Samaria at midday, and some of the giftings that Jesus uses in these exchanges to evangelize, to share the gospel, bring them closer to himself. Well, I'd like to read you a definition that we have in the book for prophetic evangelism. It's quite hard to pin down, quite hard to define, but we've had a crack at it, and this is what we have come up with, hopefully with the Spirit's guidance. Prophetic evangelism is an approach to sharing the good news of Jesus, that's evangelism, using specifically those prophetic tools and giftings provided by the Holy Spirit to those evangelizing. The message delivered by prophetic evangelism is almost always God's way of directly challenging an individual, causing them to recognize a definitive decision point in their lives. In other words, bringing them to a point of saying yes to Jesus and asking his forgiveness for their sins. So, in part 3 of the course, we particularly home in on the example of Jesus and comparing it to some prophetic evangelism in the Old Testament, particularly Jonah. The short book of Jonah is rich in prophetic evangelism and shows us some of the positives and negatives in the way that Jonah exercises his ministry. In Jesus, of course, we have perfection. He is the supreme, he is the exemplar of any ministry, of any gifting that is of God. And so we can learn so much from looking at how he handles these situations. And particularly looking at how he lives in the moment, how he's purposeful without rushing, and how he resists distractions. We live in a world cram-packed full of distractions, full of things that clamour for our attention. If we're going to be fruitful, particularly prophetically, we have to be able to declutter our minds intentionally and provide plenty of space, give a big runway for the Holy Spirit to land and to speak to us regarding other people, regarding their needs, whether it be a healing need, whether it be a word of knowledge, a word of prophecy, a word of wisdom, whether it be something that's going to bring reconciliation into their family, that's going to speak to their emotional pain, to their financial catastrophe. We're going to be listening very close to God. And the wonderful thing is, in the example of Jesus, we see someone who is walking perfectly in step with the Father, only saying what he sees the Father doing and saying. And that's what we aspire to. And that's where we're aiming for on this course. So God bless you. I hope that one day you'll come on this course. I hope to be training live from October. This is 2021. Raising the profile of this gift. I see it more as an ancient well that we're reopening rather than a new stream. It's an ancient well full of treasure that somehow in parts of the church has been lost along the way. And we want to pick it up, dust it off, and exercise this wonderful gift again in our everyday lives, in our workplaces, in every scenario that we find ourselves in. This is what we want to do by the grace of God, to bring his kingdom in. So if you get a chance, have a look at the book. You might even want to buy it. You can see it online. God bless you. One day hopefully we'll meet.